This is Channel 25 WVTT Olean. Now, from the Twin Tiers' biggest broadcast news operation, this is the 6 o'clock report with Jeff Andrulonis and Alexa Olson. Listen on News Radio 96.7 WVTT or watch on News Channel 25 WVTT television. WVTT proudly presents the 6 o'clock report.
Good evening, I'm Alexa Olson.
And I'm Jeff Andrulonis. Good evening. The big story tonight on the 6 o'clock report. Snow fooling, a major snowstorm, the first of the season in the Twin Tiers. For the very latest, let's go live to the WVTT digital newsroom, where WVTT's Valerie Tysaner joins us. She's been up since before dawn this morning, covering our first major snowfall here in the Twin Tiers. Valerie, what's happening right now?
Jeff, last night brought whiteout conditions and very hazardous driving throughout the Twin Tiers, and a lot of people are not happy about it. But I talked to one man who said it's just another winter day in Olean. He said the reason it seems so bad is we just haven't seen anything like it for the last 3 years.
Last night's snowstorm was horrible.
Twin Tiers residents weren't too happy with the first snowstorm of the season.
I didn't like it.
Last night brought the type of snowstorm the Twin Tiers hasn't seen in more than 2 years, burying the area in more than a foot of snow.
It's just too cold.
The unlucky drivers who got caught in the storm found driving took much longer than usual.
I actually had to drive home. It was maybe like a 10-minute ride normally. It took me almost 45 minutes.
Roads were slick, and then the problem was a lot of them hadn't been plowed yet, so you were dealing with the buildup of run over snow and then the ice underneath it, and it was a little difficult.
Cars slipped, cars stuck.
I got caught in it. I was driving, and it was like I was slipping all over the place.
One Coach USA bus driver had to stop his bus to help push a car. Passerby saw him and ran to help. Snowplow crews started this morning at a time one man called too early, plowing for hours to make sure the morning commute went smoothly. For some, that meant a winter nightmare as they got plowed in.
The people who take care of our plowing and stuff like that only shoveled part of the front of the car, the side part, so I only was able to get in like to the door.
The worst of the storm is over until this weekend when another storm is set to hit. Experts say the snowfall is welcome. It helped put a dent in this year's drought. Until last night, the snowfall was about 25 inches below normal for this time of year, so some are making the best of it.
It's nice to see. I actually like it.
The plowing crews have done their jobs, and most of the main roads are very safe to travel on now, but some of the side streets still do have snow, so if you're going a little bit out of the more common route, please do be careful. In the WVTT Digital Newsroom, I'm Valerie Tysaner. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks for the effort, Valerie, and after putting in 12 hours already today, I guess it's about time for you to head home. What's coming up tonight in the Twin Tiers? Well, wind gusts. First of all, we'll be looking at the potential of wind gusts over 20 miles per hour, according to WVTT Severe Weather Action Team forecaster Rod Tanner. Also, a little additional snowfall, some more light snow on top of what's already there, and it will be a hard freeze as well with a low of 18 degrees. Any remaining slushy or wet areas on roadways will probably freeze hard, so be aware of that as you're traveling. Complete weather details straight ahead here on WVTT. Alexa?
Well, Jeff, with all that snowfall, there were many reports of car accidents across the Twin Tiers in Pennsylvania and New York. Cars off the road on the highways, but surprisingly, none in Olean. WVTT reached out to Terry Schnell's office, the chief of police in Olean. He said no car accidents in Olean last night, Jeff.
Governor Cuomo activated the State Emergency Operations Center in order to deal with monitoring the storm and any emergency needs. The governor activated yesterday afternoon. Representatives from state agencies have been working overtime to coordinate storm response efforts, including members of the State Police, Department of Transportation, Thruway Authority, Office of Fire Prevention and Control, Division of Military and Naval Affairs, Department of Environmental Conservation, and the Department of Health, all activated.
And Jeff, Governor Andrew Cuomo also announced $250 million is available for a broad range of renewable energy generation projects. This funding is a critical component of Governor Cuomo's energy highway blueprint, according to the governor, and it will upgrade and modernize New York's aging energy infrastructure. Now, funding for these renewable projects is administered by New York's State Energy Research and Development Authority.
Politicians from both parties still say we're headed straight toward the fiscal cliff with no negotiated settlement in sight. Representatives from both parties met over the holidays. No progress made, and Congressman Tom Reed tells WVTT no progress over the holidays. A big part of the problem, he says, is that lawmakers are just refusing to work together.
I'm very practical in my outlook, and I recognize we are in a split government. Republicans control the House, Democrats control the Senate and the White House. We are going to have to find that common ground for the good of America.
Now, Congressman Reed also weighed in on the gun control issue in light of the recent school shootings in Newtown, Connecticut, and the Christmas Day shooting in Webster, New York. Reed says that while gun control or mental health screening legislation may seem like a solution, the problem runs deeper than that, according to the congressman.
We need to move our society away from this glorification of violence, be it in our media, be it in our kids' video games, our kids' exposures to movies, and kind of this glorification of violence that has become part of our society today.
And because the issue of gun control is still in the forefront in many areas, New York Senator Catherine Young is also speaking out against the recent push for more gun control. She says that the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting was a horrible tragedy, but many lawmakers are now exploiting it to push for more gun control. She says that the vast majority of gun crimes are committed with illegal weapons, and that stricter enforcement of our current gun laws would be the best approach.
2 women are facing drug charges tonight after drugs showed up at the Allegheny County Jail. New York State Police tell WVTT Valerie Emerson Allen and her mother, Donna Emerson, they're accused of delivering suboxone strips to Allen's husband, who was serving jail time. The 2 women reportedly had a 1-year-old daughter with them at the time. They're in jail tonight, facing numerous charges, jailed in lieu of bail.
And an Allegheny County man is facing charges today after firing shots at his girlfriend. State police allege David Scott shot at his girlfriend in their home with a shotgun. She was reportedly treated for injuries. Those injuries were not caused by the gun, according to police. Police searched the woods for Scott on Christmas morning. Scott was arraigned in Angelica Town Court and jailed in lieu of $50,000 bail.
An Olean man involved in an accident that left a pedestrian dead in Florida. That accident happened around 3:30 Saturday morning, according to law enforcement. The driver, 26-year-old Todd Park of Olean, was driving his vehicle when a pedestrian walked into the road and was hit by Park's car. Now, police identify the victim as 24-year-old Dale Lee Roberts of Florida. They're not sure why the victim was walking in the street at the time. They say he was wearing dark clothing and didn't have any reflective material on his clothing either. The victim died at the scene.
Jeff, the president of Alfred State will be stepping down as president of the college to take another position elsewhere. In a prepared statement released over the weekend, Alfred State President Dr. John Anderson announced that he will be leaving the college on March 31st to become president of Millersville University of Pennsylvania. Anderson was named president of Alfred State College back in 2008.
The Buffalo Bills could be getting a new stadium, and there's talk of it going downtown after the team signed a 10-year lease deal. A committee will look at locations, cost, and design of a future stadium for the Bills. That 10-year lease agreement has an option for money to be set aside for Ralph Wilson Stadium, for site study and development of a new stadium in approximately 10 years. At least one Erie County official says he'd like to see that stadium built in downtown Buffalo. Still to come tonight on Twin Tiers Evening News, our first look at weather. Also straight ahead, the global news update and a look at the closing numbers from Wall Street. All straight ahead here on Twin Tiers Evening News on News Channel 25 WVTT.